What happens when you don't have definitions for the identities and things that you find important? You're like, I want to be, in my case, I want to be a good husband and a good father someday. Well, what does that look like? Because I've got all these assumptions, because I've got all these examples set, I don't actually have definitions. And so then I have all of these assumed identities, assumed definitions that I haven't even thought through, I haven't understood, that then conflict with each other. So what happens, a common one that I'm really fighting against, and a big part of my channel here, is this idea that it's hard to be a good businessman and be successful and be a good Christian. Because our idea of a good Christian, when we think about one, wealth is not even on the table. Success is not on the table. It's someone who lives a quiet life. Maybe they have a normal job. They might make the average or maybe a little more than average, but if they're doing anything more than just okay, then they're probably greedy. And so what happens is you start to see success in your small business. You start to see success in your job, and you get promotions, and next thing you know, you have more than the average person in your church, and you don't really know what to do about it. You want to be generous, but you don't know if you can, because you don't want people to think that you're throwing your money around. And it gets even worse too, because you feel like a bad Christian. See, we have, I like to call it this idea, this poverty piety complex. This idea that if I'm struggling, that means I'm holier. That if I'm wealthy, it means that I'm going off on my own and seeking my own riches and selfish, and I'm very selfish in nature. But that's just ultimately not the case. If you look all throughout the scriptures, some of the most blessed people by the Lord are the ones that have wealth. We wouldn't say that David was somehow lesser spiritually because he was the king or because he was wealthy. We wouldn't say the same thing about Abraham. As a matter of fact, one of the first things that God tells us after Abraham obeys God, after God proclaims his blessing and his favor on Abraham, is how wealthy he is. So those are conflicting things that deep down, because we haven't defined them well, or we haven't defined them by the way that God defines them, we end up chasing our own tail. We end up self-sabotaging and causing all kinds of havoc and never accomplishing the things that we actually find important. And that's really sad. So let me encourage you. Not only do you get to live your life based on what God has put on your heart to do, right? According to your own life and not according to the decisions and assumptions that others are making. But you also get the option to start cutting away with the Lord's help by bringing truth in, by the renewal of your mind, Romans 12. You get to start chipping away at these things that leave you double-minded, that leave you in a place where it's hard to have faith or impossible to have faith because you believe two contradictory things and you don't understand that they're contradicting themselves or contradicting each other. And so you become a walking contradiction in a way that is unhealthy for you, for your loved ones, for the people around you. Personally, I'm not okay with that. And I'm on a journey. I invite you to come join me to start to unravel those things, to define who I want to become, who I believe that God has made me to be, and to start revealing that and allow God to reveal that to myself and to the world around me. Join me. Join me on my quest. There's a link in the Discord if you want to participate. There's a link in the description to my Discord if you want to participate in something like that. It'll be a lot of fun. I'd love to have some deep conversations with you, talk about those things, talk about my identity problems, your identity problems, and start to bring truth to bear in a way that allows us to live and thrive in the way that God designed us to. See you in the next video. There is nothing but flat.